police are still trying to piece together enough information to make an arrest. The train is still on fire. They are continuously bringing in more tankers of water to put out the flames. People were just driving along the Arizona freeways when all of a sudden their lives were put in jeopardy. DPS officials are calling these incidents acts of domestic terrorism. Renee, Alex, I'm out here at the AM/PM on 16th Street, and the question of the day is, who wants to be a billionaire? Just behind this warehouse here is a home that contains a subterranean drug tunnel. Now, we're only 300 yards away from the border if you look over this way, and that is where the entrance to this tunnel begins. Roadways have been blocked off for hours as investigators are collecting evidence after a woman was struck by the vehicle behind us. Her shoes and cane are lying in the roadway, and you can clearly see where her body struck the windshield. Amberly's Place is here to help people that are dealing with abuse, victims of abuse, any kind. And that's what these proceeds are for, to help those victims of abuse. So come on down, buy your $10 ticket. Tonight, the fate will be decided for two propositions, Prop 123 and Prop 124. Well, the political storms of the 2016 campaign were in full force today as a wild card emerged that had a lot of people talking. Former contestant Corey Clark is used to facing judges on American Idol. But Thursday in Yuma County, he faced a different kind of judge. The petition. They need 350,000 more signatures in order to force a recall election. And back on the local front, two Arizona sisters went to the state capitol this week, not for a school field trip, but to get lawmakers to back anti-bullying legislation.
There was a few nights where she woke me up and said, "Jordan, there's somebody outside our window." And I said, "What? What are you talking about? Like you're probably just hearing some kind of noise." She goes, "No, Jordan, I saw someone."
It's been 20 years since Amberly Mendoza was sexually assaulted and murdered in her bedroom in Yuma. But her sister still remembers the chilling details like it was yesterday.
I heard this horrific scream right outside our house, and it scared me. And me and my sister, we ran to the window to see what was going on, and we see these two guys. And one guy's like, "Come on, dude, we gotta get out of here. Come on, hurry up, dude, hurry up." And then the other guy's like, "Dude, just calm down. Just calm down. Just walk slow." Again, being a little kid, I didn't think to say anything to anybody. We would just leave the window unlocked and go through the window, which everyone in the neighborhood could see us doing.
The night Amberly was killed, her older sister Jordan and her aunt had taken a trip to a store and noticed something strange when they got back.
What we thought was weird was there was a car that was parked in our driveway, and we didn't know who they were. My aunt assumed it was either some other relative or a friend or somebody, but there was, she said that there was some guys sitting in it just kind of staring at the house. But as soon as they saw us, when we pulled up, they took off.
They were having a birthday party at the house, and they were barbecuing out in the backyard. And it got late, and as it got late, Amberly decided that she wanted to go to bed. So she went in her bedroom and was playing with her Barbie dolls and then went to bed. And Veronica told me, this is the first night that I didn't go and tuck each one of my kids in. And she goes, as a mom, I always did that.
The suspect had entered Amberly's room through her bedroom window. The next morning when Veronica called for Amberly, she knew something was wrong.
She kept calling Amberly and she didn't come. And she said, I went outside because she loved to rollerblade. So I figured, she's rollerblading in the neighborhood. And went out calling and she didn't come, and then that's when she went into the bedroom and discovered her.
Jordan and her other sister Rita went to stay the night at their grandmother's house.
I was at my grandmother's when we got the phone call. I remember sitting in the living room. My grandma went over to the phone, answered it, and then all of a sudden she just runs out of the room screaming, throws the phone on the floor and just screaming my sister's name. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, what's going on? Why would my grandmother be screaming Amberly like that?
Jordan said she didn't know what happened to her sister until that night.
I walk in and my mom's sitting in this room, a mess, just tears all over the place, and she looks at me and she tries to pull it together and she takes a breath. And then she hugs me and says, "Jordan, your sister died." It was so unbelievable that just the day before I was playing with my sister and today she's gone.
Jordan says after Amberly died, their home turned into a crime scene and they never went back.
Because even when the detectives interviewed us, they asked us questions like, "Hey, has your dad ever tried to touch you, or has anyone ever tried to hurt you before?" No, of course not. I can't believe that, that you would even think that.
Jordan said her mom would come home from the police station in tears.
They were really believing that it was them for a long time. That they that they knew.
Jordan said her mom shared a story with her once about a strange person in their backyard.
Like, what is he barking at? And she thought it was like maybe a cat or something, because again, he barked at anything. But right before she walked in the house, she heard someone go, shh, shh, shut up, dog.
Jordan said it was years before she was able to talk about it.
Molly, I really think that it was something that was planned. I really think it was somebody watching our home and our family for a while.
How's it felt living in Yuma and continuing to live in Yuma, not knowing who this person may be, and what if you've passed them on the street?
I think in my mind, I think they're long gone.
There is DNA in the case, or suspect DNA. It's been entered into a database, and we're literally just waiting for a potential hit or a confirmation, a match on that DNA.
If someone knows something, they really need to come forward. Even if it's just a little sliver of information, it might be the sliver that we need.
47 years ago, a young woman was fatally shot in front of her apartment on Orange Avenue.
She was actually murdered on November 4th of 1969.
It was about 9:15 on a cool November evening. 20-year-old Rhonda Fortney, an Arizona Western College student, was standing in front of her home.
She was shot. They found her in the 100 block of Orange Avenue at her apartment.
Years later, police don't know who killed Rhonda.
From what we've gathered over the years, no known enemies or anything like that.
Witnesses say a man was seen running down Orange Avenue.
A case like this is a little bit more difficult for us to solve because there's DNA evidence and stuff like that in some cases. This one, however, does not have that type of evidence.
The suspect was described as a black man, 25 to 30 years old, 5'11 to 6'2", wearing a yellow jacket or shirt and gold tapered pants. The suspect was seen leaving in a dark passenger car, possibly a 66 or 69 Pontiac.
It's one of our very first cold cases that we have that is still a open case, but it's inactive at this time.
If the suspect is still living, he would be around 70 years old. YPD doesn't know what type of firearm was used to shoot Fortney.
There's no shell casings or anything like that, which would lead detectives to believe it was a revolver.
Franklin says they strive to bring closure to the families who have lost a loved one.
What would you say to a family that lost their daughter and it never gets solved?
I don't think you could probably put into adequate words. You convey how sorry you are for their loss, but I don't think that's ever going to be enough.
If you know anything about what happened on that November night, police say to please come forward.
The chances of it solved again are always going to be very slim due to the length of time in the case and the lack of evidence overall, other than some witness statements. Does that mean that we ever stop? No. There could be that one witness from all those years ago that knew something, that was scared to talk, that comes up and finally says something that's, is a break in the case.
When Fortney died, Franklin said the Yuma police asked the public for help in locating a suspect.
The age of the case, the suspect at this point is obviously going to be very old, possibly deceased. There's a lot that has gone on over the years that have kind of diminished the chances of actually solving this case.
Yuma County had an estimated population of around 50,000 people in 1969.
Back then, Yuma was obviously a much smaller town.
Even though the case is 47 years old, Yuma police would still like to get some answers. Molly Lange, News 11.